Here with reaction, Fox News contributor Joe Concha, along with Project 21 chairman Horace Cooper. Joe, you're the media analyst. What's your take? I know you watched the whole thing.
Well, I'm going to go out on a limb here, Sean, and say that CBS once again went from journalism to activism in trying to get another Democrat elected, as you just showed laid out in broad daylight. By the way, this is not a one-off. Remember in 2004, Dan Rather used fake documents in a report on George W. Bush and his National Guard service on 60 Minutes, and that was meant to impact that election against John Kerry, which was razor close. And even afterwards, after being exposed, Dan Rather still insisted that those documents were fake but accurate. It's enough to make your hair hurt. We all remember 2020, when Leslie Stahl of 60 Minutes, after Donald Trump implored her to look into the explosive and potentially election-changing contents of Hunter Biden's laptop as far as the extent of corruption within the Biden family, which included the big guy himself, and Leslie Stahl, in the most condescending manner possible, lectured Trump that the laptop couldn't be verified and therefore wasn't a story. Hey, how's that looking now, Leslie? And then obviously ahead of this election, the vice presidential debate, J.D. Vance wiping the floor of goofy Tim Walz, and Margaret Brennan, Norah O'Donnell, CBS News attempted to fact-check Vance, and then when Vance turned around and fact-checked them very effectively, they cut off his mic. We've never seen that before during debate. So great look there. And now finally this interview with Kamala Harris, which was done well after voting began, was so devastating to her campaign, they tried to limit the damage as much as possible by editing out all those incoherent Thousand Island word salads that occurred again and again in that interview. Let's put it this way. 60 Minutes used to be a very proud place. Mike Wallace, Harry Reasoner, they did this all to themselves. And legacy media once again showed that they're one of the least trusted industries of any entity because of situations like this. All they had to do is release the transcript like they did after interviews with Donald Trump on CBS News, as they've done in the past. And we wouldn't be talking about this right now. But getting Kamala over the finish line, that was all that mattered.
Let's get your take, Horace. And I have my own experience. I mean, during the first Trump terms, 60 Minutes came to me, wanted to push hard to get me to do an interview. And I said, live to tape, no editing. They said no. So I said no. This is why.
Well, Sean, you know, prior to COVID-19 pandemic, I used to regularly go to the movies. And I've actually never sat in the movie theater right before the movie started, hearing the trailer and finding out that what's shown in the trailer is never shown in the movie. That's what CBS did, and the FCC absolutely has the right to investigate what's called broadcast media distortion. From the creation of the FCC, they're allowed to ask if the broadcaster manipulated the story or the news or the coverage that they are producing. The evidence is out there for everybody to see.
Will there be repercussions, Horace?
Well, I believe they're going to get fined. You know, the FCC has the authority to actually revoke your license. That's the death penalty. But I do believe we're going to see fines because there is no justification for what ended up happening other than to try to manipulate what the audience heard and understood.
15 seconds, repercussions, Joe.
Absolutely, there'll be repercussions. I don't think the lawsuit goes away that Donald Trump leveled against them, by the way. Ask George Stephanopoulos and ABC how that went. Accountability is back, and the media just can't get away with this stuff anymore, Sean.
Yeah, I think Donald Trump will be getting another check from a media company.